All right, this is video 3 of my series on qualifying prospecting that I'm doing as my video content for Wes Schaefer's 12 Weeks to Peak free program. Go check that out if you want. And if you're a business owner or a salesperson who wants an accountability program that doesn't cost you any money, I would run over and get that right away, because Wes is one of the few people who I will take direction from. He and I are, old school, long time sales trainers. And so who do you listen to is very important to me. All right. So we've talked about the lousy state of prospecting out there, about how slamming your offer into direct message to somebody really is just a turn off. You're only going to get that small veneer, the 1 to 3% of the people who are already ready and waiting for somebody like you to come along. It doesn't mean that you have to sit there and nurture the hell out of people for 20 years in order to get an order, but spending 3 days reaching out and engaging with people on their content and showing them that you give a damn about them will go a long way. All right. So yesterday we talked about looking for need. Is there a problem that that prospect admits that they have that you could solve? All right, that's the first part. Second thing, the thing that we're going to look at today is called budget. Now, a lot of people think that budget means, does the prospect have a dollar in their jeans? No. Okay. No, breathing and having a dollar in their jeans is not good enough. All right. And it's not about, do they have a budget set aside for things. I just sold something right now for $12,000 right before I recorded this that the guy did not have in his budget. Who cares, right? He's invested in other things with us in the past, and now he's going to do this. And it had nothing to do with, did they have a budget set aside for this. This budget, the one I want you to think about, is the size of the problem. Okay. Does this person, this prospective client or customer, that we'll call them the prospect, have a problem large enough to warrant your involvement? Okay. I've often said Jason Kanigan ain't the guy to sell candied apples, because that size of a problem, a $4 or a $6 or a $2 problem, is not worth me solving. I'm bigger than that. I want to solve $100,000, $500,000, $12 million problems, right? $1 billion problems would be ideal, right? That's that aim high, right? so so you got to understand. And going back to money tolerance, which I've written about, which is your answer, your personal answer to the question, how much is a lot of money, is going to direct you to answering that. Budget, what size of problem will you solve? All right. If you think $50,000 is too much money, well, heaven help you. You're not going to be selling $50,000 things, right? $20,000 things, probably, right? So here's what I've found. Number one, a 5 to 10% size of the problem, as far as your price tag goes, works really well, especially 5%. If you can get that prospect to see that there's a $100,000 problem there, they will happily invest $5,000 in solving it, maybe 10, with like delight, like, oh, I'm getting a deal here. All right. Now the key, just like before with the need part of it, is they have to agree. They have to admit that that problem is there, it exists, and it is this large. Okay. And I have lots of content. You can look this stuff up about monetizing the problem. Okay. Talking about it for 11 years now. A method for getting prospective clients to value the size of their own problem. Okay. They admit they have it, then, well, all right, how big is it? And you have a minimum size of a problem that you will go to work for. Okay. Mine's around $50,000. About $2,500 will get my attention for a little bit, right? You get a 2-call package from me for $2,100, a before and after kind of training coaching call that's like half a day each. All right. For $2,100 right now. That price is going to go up, but it's been that way for years. I just put a warning on the website that it's going up soon when I have a breather and can actually look at that. But that's kind of the minimum size. And then the second half of this, okay, I don't want you to be worried, because big problems, $50,000 problems, are lying around. A $250,000 problems are lying around all over the place in a business of any real size, 5, 6 people even. Okay, and up. If you got a business of like 20 people, Ooh, you got $1 million problems lying around. And then you can show up with a $50,000 solution. Ooh, that looks good, right? And people often do this, right? That is the salary, an annual salary of an employee. Well, if there is a business that is used to hiring, onboarding people at $50,000, like that's normal for that's their money tolerance. They don't see that as a big deal, right? This is stuff I want you thinking about. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this up because these videos are always too long, but I want you looking for budget, not do they have a dollar in their jeans and are breathing, but is there a problem here that they admit to having that is large enough to warrant your involvement in fixing? Otherwise, don't do it because there's just going to be too much of a struggle. If it's a $50,000 problem, they are not going to invest $50,000 in fixing it unless it's some kind of weird bleeding neck fraud thing, maybe, but that's really kind of a rare situation. In fact, you should be looking for a $50,000 problem. Okay, I'm going to come in with a $5,000 or a $2,500 solution somewhere in there. Okay, to get a straightforward yes. All right, I will see you tomorrow.